Well, Northern Michigan lawn fans, this is Court Busarmer from Dr. Green Lawn. I wanted to talk to you today about putting on a northern grass baffle kit from Wright Manufacturing. I bought a Wright Standard B 52-inch mower this spring because I've got some clients that have pretty serious hills, and I wasn't feeling very safe continuing to mow on those hills without a standard mower. But I'm a part-timer, so in order to buy the only unit really that made sense for me financially with the number of accounts that I have, really the Wright Manufacturing Incorporated Standard B is really the only game in town. It is the only prosumer or consumer slash professional level of mower. Okay, now I think that's kind of silly because if you think about it, what is a pro mower? Okay, it's supposed to mow a lot of lawns and keep a nice looking cut, right? Well, it does that. Does it always do it as well as, say, a Wright ZK or a Skag V-Ride, some mower that costs $14,000? I don't know. That's kind of a matter of opinion, isn't it? Can I mow with this mower all day, 8 to 10 hours, a few days a week without having any significant problems? Yes, I can. Would I mow with it 40 hours a week? I don't know. It doesn't have the big heavy-duty canister air filter on that 22 horsepower FS 651V motor made by Kawasaki. It's only a 22 horsepower motor. Yeah, sometimes it feels like it lacks a little bit in horsepower, but overall, I don't think it's a terrible motor. For the size of the deck and the weight of the machine's only 800 pounds. I think it does pretty well. Does it handle the hills well? Yes. Does it maneuver well? Yes. It has hydro gear 3100 hydros, and they turn on a dime. They turn very strong even on off camber on hills. I've had no concerns about those hydros whatsoever. You should see it in action on some of the properties that I have to maintain. It's something else. The motor really drives it. It's very maneuverable, comfortable as all get out. You can see the padding right here. Okay, there's my Exmark Radius, my other prosumer mower, which I also love. Very comfortable mower. Okay, handles like a dream. It's nice to look at, I dare say, too. It's a little dirty right now, as you can tell. Getting to the end of the yard season here. I'm still doing some modifications. You can see I'm trying to figure out what to do with this discharge chute right here. I'm either just going to take this off completely or I'm going to cut it down. Now, how good is a mower? Is it comfortable? Does it handle well? Is it good on gas? Does it have ample power? Does it have a few features that make it more productive? For all of those questions, for me, it doesn't really matter. All that really matters is at the end of the day, what is the quality of cut that it puts down? And this mower doesn't, in my opinion, always leave what I consider a quality cut that I'm proud to walk away from when I'm done with a client's yard. Now, another prosumer mower, the Exmark Radius E, unless the blades are really dull or the conditions are really awful, I can go into just about any property. And this mower leaves a great cut. I put a roller kit on it, but boy, does that thing ever leave beautiful stripes. It leaves a clean cut. You can see it needs to be cleaned up too. Easy access. Wonderful machine. It's a rock star. For the price that I paid for this thing, I don't see how you could get more mower for what this cost me in 2019. It was about around the $6,000 price point. Just a sturdy, phenomenal mower. Okay, it also has that engine. It doesn't have that canister engine. It's got what these manufacturers are calling commercial engines. In this case, it's got the Exmark 708cc 24.5 horsepower engine. Now, is that the the engine of a mower that you'd want to run 40 hours a week, I don't know. But I do know, again, I can run this mower hard for 8-10 hours a day, a couple days a week, and I don't have any complaints. It doesn't do anything that gives me cause for concern. Is it a full-on, full professional commercial mower? Well, that's a matter of opinion for some of the people that run mowers 80 hours a week. Now, they probably have a few concerns about the durability of some of the parts or the maintenance requirements for, the mower or the spindles or the belts or what have you. But under most any given reasonable mowing condition, including wet yards, if you slow down, it leaves an excellent cut. It looks gorgeous when you walk away from it. Never leaves a cut, almost never leaves a cut. I'm not proud to have said I left. But this guy right here, it's a different story. This Wright mower leaves a beautiful cut, but not in every normal circumstance such as this one. Because I'll give you an example. If I'm mowing with this Wright mower, one of the things I have noticed is that if you have a very fine fescue like we do up here in northern Michigan on some yards, or it's very thick, but it's hard to figure out what the conditions are. Sometimes it'll leave a great looking mow on like a heavy fescue, like a tall fescue with a thicker blade. Sometimes it'll leave a glazed looking finish where the blade ends will look damaged even with properly raked deck pitch, proper inflation of the tires, proper balancing of the deck, brand spanking new sharp blades. Even under those conditions, sometimes it might leave a little bit of a glazed look. Now that has to do with the condition, the state of the grass. So those are other issues. Normally, it will leave a pretty nice cut, but there are some days where the grass conditions vary such that if it's dry and it's wispy, I feel like this mower doesn't have the suction always to leave a beautiful cut. Now, at Wright Manufacturing, they're not billing this as a full-on commercial mower, but what the heck does that mean? Because if it's not a residential mower, nobody buys a mower like this for residential yards. Okay, this is not a mower that Joe housekeeper buys to mow his 3/4 acre yard. This is a mower for landscaping professionals. So if they want to say it's entry-level commercial or prosumer, I don't know what that means, semantics, but that's kind of ridiculous. It's meant to be a commercial mower. And so as such, you would expect a commercial quality of cut. I'm not always getting that. I'm sorry, Mr. Ed Wright, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm just not always getting that commercial quality of cut from this mower. I'd say I do about 80% of the time. I don't like to have to revert to my X mark to pull through if conditions aren't optimum, because this guy will pull through for you every time. All right. If I got to worry about this guy right here in the cut conditions, all right, this guy might not do what Mr. X mark over here will always do. And under 95% of conditions, leave a beautiful cut. Okay. So what I did was I called Wright Manufacturing to ask them about cut quality, because my local dealer, Ferguson's Lawn Equipment in Traverse City, Michigan, what they do is they sell Skags, Wrights, Exmark, Toro. I would consider the major brands pretty much. Okay. And they can get Ferris too. So they have the nice machines. They just started carrying Wright this year. They've always been able to order Wright, but they just started carrying it this year. So what does that really mean? Okay, so they feel confident enough in these mowers to stock them on the showroom floor now. Okay, great. So, but I'm thinking, well, I'm going to call Wright because Ferguson's told me that you could get a northern grass baffle, all right, that would serve better for these northern grass conditions that we have up here in northern Michigan. Okay, so here's the standard baffle. Now, Ferguson's Lawn Equipment told me that they could order one for me and it would be $350 from the company. Well, they sold me this mower in northern Michigan, and I don't think I should have to buy a baffle that is appropriate for the mowing conditions that we have here in the area in which it was sold. I called Wright Manufacturing's customer service and explained that to them. And they were glad to send me a northern grass baffle kit free of charge. So thank you, Mr. Wright. And thank you, Wright Manufacturing Incorporated's customer service, for sending me this really nice looking northern grass baffle kit that I'm going to install tonight on this machine. It's dark out. I can't get any more lawns done today. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the old baffle off of there, the one that came with the machine from the factory, and install this. Now, this piece, this kit includes the baffle, okay? It includes these two pieces, which are supposed to control, I think, the amount of air running under a couple of the blade tips. And then these guys right here are your nuts and bolts. And if you can see, those things just screw in to where the old baffle is. So you can see on this deck, you've got these screws right here, and you essentially just remove them and then screw in the new one. Now, I don't believe that on the Wright Standard B, this is actually a proper what they call aero core deck. On the standard X's and the standard ZKs, they're certified, full-on commercial units that cost basically twice as much as this unit. You know, I don't know if you're getting twice the productivity. Maybe you are, probably getting, you know, half again as much productivity out of one of those machines. On those units, they have a proper stamped aero core deck. Now, that's their high-end commercial deck. Well, this doesn't say AeroCore on it, so I don't know what Wright manufacturer is calling the decks on these Standard B, entry-level commercial, prosumer, whatever you want to call them, mowers here. So, you know, I'll take whatever help I can get to ensure that I have the best quality of cut, and that's going to be installing those baffles. So I'm going to get going on that here real quick.